Any could see you.
Hope I didn't just glitch this.
My hand!
I'll cut the block off the next man who dares try his luck.
Give us this horsepower!
Say, Witcher, come over here.
Why is he lingering about?
Those...
The
How should I...
wife. Just. You know.
Will he...
Where's the.
Hi.
Farewell.
Give us this horsepower! Enough of this charade! We've talked it...
There's no law allowing us, sir.
Does it?
Why?
That's... Do you pretending
Alright,
to be
this is
with
gonna
him
end up being
was?
the same.
See,
Saskia, sir.
where is this servant, might I? The answer is
He's hiding to save his skin from you!
one last.
No need to poison the wine. Smear it.
I never heard of anyone poisoning a.
You have.
The witch
Oh, that's
is
the
right.
guy we beat the shit out of.
Give us
before. I remember
Stennis.
him.
Saskia's got her own chalice.
It was commissioned from one of the dwarves. The order came with a very detailed drawing.
Even so, how did it come into Saskia's hand?
It's not clear how the prince poisoned the wine, but that doesn't mean he didn't do it.
Stennis is blowing hot and cold!
Wait, is
Everyone
that one
knows
basically
that.
saying that I
You
think
were
Stannis
supposed to
did it?
prove his guilt. Not
Oh, it is. Oh,
insult him,
crap.
Yoko.
That's not what I want. Maybe.
Enough of this shit!
Sas...
Where is the? He's one.
No,
I.
you have.
The witches...
It was
Even.
a good point. We can't be sure if the prince poisoned the wine.
Stennis
go.
is blowing hot and cold! Everyone knows that!
You were supposed
Oh,
to
is it
prove his
Terminator?
guilt, not insult him, Yoko.
Tell us who else would do it. A peasant wanted to hurt the miss? Never. It's cause of her you noble dogs can't ignore us. A pig won't cut its own throat. A peasant's not foolish enough to raise his hand against his savior.
Perhaps it is no peasant's deed. However, that doesn't mean the prince is guilty, fool.
Yes, insult
Answer
them
me this.
more!
Was not
Alright, have a good night,
Stennis'
Acting Gore.
next
Thank you
to
so much for
Saskia's?
stopping by.
Do not the wines come from his own... Yes! Nobody in Bergen want...
You're wrong, Colton. Reverend Olkin wanted.
Alkan was on Stennis' leash like a dog.
How dare you, lout! Do you imagine if someone sits next to a married lady, he's surely fucking her?
That
The
was
priest tried
different.
to convince Prince Stennis to join the conspiracy.
Is Stennis some dimwit foundling that he dances
I will
to
convict
a lousy
everybody
priest's
acting
tomb? Alkan got what he deserved when Hensel cleaved his head. Now it's Stennis' time.
There is no proof the prince agreed.
The priest asked him for admittance to the kitchen.
So he didn't poison the Virgin himself, but allowed her to be poisoned.
Those are just words. Too much guesswork and not enough evidence. You can't convict anyone based on that.
Your Highness, this is dangerous.
I am not afraid. Fear is a commoner's trait, unfit for one with royal blood running in his veins. What do you want, to judge me? Is a prince a common thief who steals a dozen eggs at the market? You stand before royal majesty, and you raise your hands against it. In this world there are crimes that can be forgiven, and crimes that, by any means, cannot. Just as a mother killing her own child, or a man slitting his own brother's throat cannot be forgiven. A crime against one anointed by the gods themselves also cannot be condoned. He who raises hand against divine right is not worthy to walk this world. And what about he who poisons the Virgin of Edern? Firstly, Saskia is alive, so no one can blame me for her death. Secondly, you have no proof that it was I who tried to murder her. And thirdly, I assure all gathered here, I won't rise above the law. However, only she, the Virgin of Edern, can judge me. Can he? And if Saskia won't get well, who's gonna judge you? I believe she can be cured. But if the gods decide otherwise, we'll summon a coven of the wise who can pass just sentence.
Those are words worthy of a true sovereign.
I am the one you should look to for guidance. Let my deeds be the flame that lights up your darkness.
The prince is guilty.
The prince has a right to a fair trial, no matter if he's guilty or not. We can't deny him that. What will the peasants do if we hand them the prince? Will they hear him out? No. They'll hang him from the nearest tree or tear him limb from limb. What will happen if we allow a lynching? What if people see that might makes right? Who'll guarantee they won't desire to avenge their wrongs? Real and imagined.
I'm sorry, I'm just in
Who'll
perspective.
protect
He's
people whose
walking
only
around
fault
with a
is
chicken's
noble
nose
birth
up.
from the exasperated mob.
Well, a bee.
And where will it lead?
Alright, so I thought maybe talking to different people might get a different result, but maybe that has an impact later on. If nothing else, it more makes up my mind. I don't know if the prince
Peasants
did
are
it,
furious,
but it's obvious that
dare
the
mount a
priest
frontal
was
attack.
part of it.
but they haven't forgotten about Stennis, and won't. It'll be that way
She won't.
unless...
We need it. And there's also
Going...
no.
I've had...
Where?
For...
You'll make.
I must.
Okay. You two are useless. Girl found the allegedly bribed peasant, convinced him to talk. The serf had not only a loose tongue, but also keen ears. He had heard Stannis talking to Olchen, the priest he favored. He even remembered one sentence, just called the servants out of the kitchen, nothing more. Preston claimed that the people of Vergen adored Saskia. Their love was so great that they had a beautifully adorned goblet fashioned for the Dragon Slayer. The dwarf so highly lauded the quality of his ornaments, of the adornments inside the goblet, that Geralt had a terrible thought. Someone could have placed the poison within the goblet, and not in the wine Saskia had consumed. The nobility had their opinion, the peasants theirs. The man accused by the nobility was not guilty. They blamed Stannis for... was not guilty. They blamed Stennis for poisoning Saskia, as the peasant movements initiated by the Dragon Slayer were not to his liking. Geralt ruled that the Virgin of Aedirn should decide Stennis' fate. I did that? No, he said that. Of course, the peasants did not like it, but nobody was keen on angering a witcher, nor to question Saskia's right to pass judgment. Everyone thought the girl's verdict would be just, that is condemning. Stennis was captured and led away under guard. Geralt had only one source of royal blood remaining, Henselt of Kedwin. Okie dokie. We need Triss. Where are you now? Whoa, my God. 5 talents. What? Alright, do we want to go for the bomb damage, trap damage, followed up by mutagens? And I definitely want Harvester. I'm going to probably want Harvester level 2, to be honest. This is nice, though, too. HP, which is great. Followed up by Potion Duration. Oh, that's nice. 40%? Damn. I need them alchemy things, though. Should have had that at the beginning of the game. Would have made life a lot better. You know, I'm kind of surprised she didn't make an appearance. Really, Geralt? Really, Geralt?
I tried locating Triss, but the mist disrupts the megascope. There's a weak signal nearby, probably on the other side.
In the Kedweni camp?
You'll have to pass through the mist.
The nose knows. That's right, Lizzo.
The mist is full of wraiths.
I'll help you. I'm continuously scanning the battlefield. I'll show you the way through. I'll find you when you enter the mist.
Farewell, then.
We still need royal blood.
I know. Henselt.
We need his blood, not his death.
How many times do I have to tell you I'm not a kingslayer?
Wait, where'd your girl go? I want to talk to her about the Wild Hunt. Wait. There you are.
I'm trying to learn something about the Wild Hunt.
Very interesting phenomenon. Like all mysterious things.
Willing to share what you know?
Well, I would be. Provided you found the notes of Morton Collis first. He devoted almost his entire life to researching the hunt. We could go into detail if you had his scribblings.
We do.
I found Morton Collis's notes.
So, let's see what you've learned.
Well, there are a few documented facts, but Collis notes the existence of plenty of myths and legends.
Very true. Where shall we start, then?
First and foremost, Collis studied the hunt's movement.
Oh, it's well known that the Wild Hunt moves north to south, never in the opposite direction.
That's what I remember, and Collis's research confirms it. I'm just having trouble understanding why that is.
The retinue's trajectory brings it into our world at the North Pole. Thus, once here, the wraiths can only move south.
Collis claims the hunt's appearance can be predicted by observing the Orcan Nebula.
And eclipses affect how often it appears. In any case, it arrives on the winter solstice, though not necessarily every year.
Collis calculated that the hunt slips into our world in those years when the nebula is in the eastern sky. When I pursued the hunt, I passed through many abandoned villages.
Well, the Wild Hunt abducts young people.
What for?
The wraiths might need workers, warriors, or meat.
Collis seems to favor the slave theory. What's the sorceress's take on the hunt?
The topic makes them uneasy. Since the Council and Conclave banned the use of mind spells, the Wild Hunt has been a taboo topic.
There's some link between mental spells and the cavalcade?
Both addle the brain. Anyone who has come in contact with the Wild Hunt has experienced mental instability that either takes the form of insanity or amnesia. You see, the wraiths emit a magnetic field that severely distorts perception and impedes brain functions.
Huh. You know what? I'm starting to understand a bit more why they call it like a phenomena. Because if it was just like a monster, granted it is wraiths that are going around either killing, stealing, murdering, whatever people, but like it happens under a very set circumstance. Specific time of the year in a specific measurable direction. We would call that a phenomena in our world, even if it like kills people, whatever form it takes.
People say the hunt's appearance is an omen of war.
In
It's just a
our
very
times,
interesting
wars are so
fact.
frequent,
Like, I can understand
we
why
might
they
even consider
classify it
flights
that
of
way.
honking geese as their harbinger. The hunt traverses our world in winter. Wars usually break out in spring, but only because rulers wish their soldiers to die in battle rather than of cold.
That makes sense.
Let's summarize.
Based on his observations and calculations of the Wild Hunt's movements, Collis arrived at two equally important conclusions. The first was that the hunt is made up of knights who perished in various worlds and have reconvened as a retinue of vengeance. His second hypothesis states that an unknown, extremely powerful force multiplies wraiths, whose task is to travel between worlds in search of slaves. Both theories seem probable.
Each time someone runs into the hunt, the wraith's magnetic field causes their mind to descend into chaos. By inference, another meeting with the hunt and its field should reverse the effects of the first.
Perhaps. Someone who lost their memory or their mind on their first meeting with the hunt could recover either on the second meeting. But I'm afraid that's unproved. Anyone who has managed to escape the wraiths would rather die than meet them again.
Except, of
So,
course, Geralt.
you can lose or recover your memory by meeting the Wild Hunt.
Do you know something I don't?
I have amnesia, but my memory's been coming back since a certain event.
Since when?
Since I killed a specter, the king of the Wild Hunt. Who are you?
I'm Cynthia, a mage in training. Philippa is my mentor.
My condolences.
No need for that. True, she's a demanding mistress, but she can also be charming. Besides, she's the best there is, Witcher. She has no equals. Excepting, perhaps, the old elven sorceresses. You should see her cast spells.